first topic for today is contracts. We have seen quotations, we have seen inquiry, we have seen sales orders. These are the three types of sales documents that we have worked on, right? If you remember our OTC, we have talked about inquiry, quotation, order, right? Sorry, inquiry, quotation, order, and then there was delivery, and then there was billing. So everything here in red are all sales documents. This is delivery document. This is billing document. So apart from these three different kinds of sales documents, there are some more types of sales documents. And one of them is contract. Roughly, the major other types of sales documents are contracts. So you can say contract and scheduling agreement. Contracts, scheduling agreement. These are the other major types of sales documents. Apart from these five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there are other subtypes like rush order, cash sale. We'll talk about these subtypes will take roughly about 2 minutes or 3 minutes each. That's it. But these are the major types. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, these are totally different categories altogether. Okay, but they all fall under the umbrella of sales document types, as opposed to delivery or billing. Our topic right now is going to be contracts. What is a contract? Different types of contracts. How to create a contract. How to create orders with reference to contracts. What are those types of orders called? So on and so forth. Alright. Let's start here. So what is a contract? A contract is an agreement. Okay? A contract is an agreement between a customer and the company. For what? It could be for a fixed price of goods, or it could be for a fixed set of materials, or it could be for a fixed quantity of certain type of materials. Generally, these are the three major types of agreements or contracts that the customers get into with the company. Another umbrella term that describes a contract is also called an outline agreement. Outline agreement. Meaning, under the outline agreements, contracts and scheduling agreements fall. So why is it called an outline agreement? Because these are not actual orders, but these are promises to buy. Okay, so there is a collective term that's used, and it's called outline agreement. And under an outline agreement, contracts and scheduling agreements are the major document types. But our focus for today is going to be contracts. So how many types of contracts are there? Majorly 4 to 5 different types. No, you don't need to go about understanding all the different contract types. Not necessary. I would say focus on 3 or 2 different contract types. Okay. First area of focus, quantity contract. Second area of focus, service contract. Okay. And rental contract is also not necessary. Third area of focus is value contract. Okay. First is quantity. Second is service. Third is value contract. Master contract is also there, but it is very rarely used. We will briefly discuss it, but don't try and focus on it too much. Just understand the concept more than enough. But quantity contract, service contract, and value contracts, you should understand them well as be able to do them in the system. Okay? We'll try and do them in the system today. All right. Now, like I said, a contract is an agreement for a fixed price or for a fixed quantity of materials to be delivered to the customer. Right? If you want some examples for visualization, you can think of a contract that a large company, say Johnson & Johnson. So there is this Johnson & Johnson customer, and this is company, say Dell. Johnson & Johnson has a big unit in New Jersey with some, 10,000 employees or so on. Dell, they might enter into a contract with Dell whereby some 1,000 computers are required for the New Jersey office of Johnson & Johnson. 1,000 computers. So they'll enter into a contract with Dell that says, okay, we are going to purchase 10,000 computers from you. Okay? So the price is going to be per computer, let's say $500 per piece. Okay? And total quantity equal to 1,000. So they are going to purchase 1,000 computers and the price is fixed at $500 per piece. This is one way of making a contract. Another way of making a contract is, I have to take different examples for each, okay? Because each of the situation demands a different example. Now, the next example that I'm going to take is something from the consumer electronics industry, okay? Let's say there's a new version of the iPhone that's released, okay? The iPhone 5 that just got released. Now, iPhone 5, the first release, Apple might not know whether it's going to be. iPhone 5 might be a bad example. Let's take a low-key product from Apple. Let's say not even iPad. Apple TV. Right? It's a small device that can be remote controlled and connected to the TV. And through wireless, can stream iTunes, can stream some movies from the iTunes database, so on and so forth. It's a small $100 product. A new product is going to be released. Apple TV version 3, let's say. So Apple cannot estimate the demand. Apple doesn't know how many products it's going to sell in the first month, how many products it's going to sell in the second month, so on. So it'll, for an initial estimate, make, let's say, 500,000 products, 500,000 quantity. It manufactures them, okay? Now, the initial set of products can only be released to their major customers. Like, let's say, what are the major customers? Of course, Apple Retail Store, Best Buy, um, Office Depot. Let's say, I don't know if Office Depot sells it, but let me put it there. And Amazon, buy.com. Okay, let's say in total some 10 or 12 different major customers that sell these Apple products. So they will give an allocation. Okay, Apple retail, you have sold 100,000 last year, so we'll give you 150K. Maybe we plan to sell more. Best Buy, you have sold 30K last year, so we're going to give you 50K this year. See, it's giving a quota because at this point it's a fresh product. They have to do some balancing act. They can't make more. At the same time, they can't produce less and make the product unavailable. Right? In this case, since the product is hot, each of these companies will enter into a contract with Apple through which a certain quantity of product is guaranteed to be purchased and the company is guaranteeing to sell that much amount of product. So Apple will not give more than 50K to Best Buy. After the 50K, if Best Buy orders 10 more K, Apple will not honor it because it's a newly launched product. It's a hot product. They want to gauge it and then maybe slowly take it from there. This type of contract is called a quantity contract, where the company enters into a contract with the customer to sell a certain quantity in total. So 50K with Best Buy did not be a one-time order. We are going to look at that, how it pans out over a course of time. But please understand that 50K is not a one-time order. It's the total quantity that Apple is going to sell Best Buy. Okay? We're going to look at the modality of how we're going to achieve that through the course of the contract. The next is for materials and services. We can take the same J&J example here. So there is Johnson & Johnson, and there is Dell, a company. Dell has an office in New Jersey with 10K employees, and all of them have a computer, let's say. So there are 10,000 computers, so on. Let's say out of them, some 5,000 are there. So J&J could enter into an agreement with Dell whereby all the 5K computers needs to be serviced/maintained. What does that involve? So it involves patching, it involves any hardware loss, it involves replacement of mouses, mouse pads, keyboards, anything that requires your typical computer service. And J&J is not in the business of computers, right? So they don't want to deal with all that crap. So they would rather have a company that's qualified to do it, enter into a service contract with them, whereby Dell will charge a fixed amount per month, let's say $1 million per month, or they could charge so much per computer. Okay, we're entering into a service contract whereby per computer we're going to charge you $100 per month. Multiplied by however many number of computers, that's the amount you're going to pay me per month. I'm going to be taking care of everything that computer requires as long as that clause is mentioned in that contract. Right? That is called a service contract. Okay? Now let's go into the details of these contracts. Starting with the quantity contract. So we have briefly discussed the quantity contract. Let's go into the details. What is a quantity contract? A quantity contract is a contract between the provider, the vendor, and the customer, whereby the customer or the vendor promises to sell a certain quantity, say 100, over a period of time, let's say 1 month, 1 year, 1 week, depending on the nature of the product. So what are the business cases that quantity contract is used? When production quantity is limited, like the iPhone or Apple TV example that I've given you. When the product is really hot or when a product is being launched, generally all the major distributors get their quota. Like if you are a new distributor and you want to sell Apple TV, sorry, you can't do that. You'll not even be recognized by Apple and you'll not get your share. Right? Pretty natural. The next business case is when a customer signs up for a special price for a certain volume of material. If I buy a quantity of 20, I'll get a certain discount. If I buy a quantity of 50, I might get a better discount, right? More volume, more discount. If I buy a quantity of 100, I'll get an even better discount. So a quantity contract can also be used in that case where the customer promises to purchase a certain quantity of material, a fixed quantity, which is generally a big lot. And because the customer is promising to purchase a certain big quantity, automatically he's entitled to a huge discount. That's another case where we can use quantity contracts. Okay. The document type is QC for quantity contracts, and the transaction that you need to create a quantity contract is VA41. It's not VA01, it's not VA21, it's VA41. Now, let's log into the system and start creating contracts with that transaction. Okay. Okay, like I said, the transaction to create a contract is VA41. There we go. Okay, so let's create a contract. What type of contract do we want to create? Quantity contract. What is the document type for that? QC. So let's pick up QC, quantity contract, and click OK. And as usual, put 1000 as the sales org, 10 as the distribution channel, 00 as the division. And click OK. We'll enter the same customer that we have been using. Enter. And of course, every contract, like a quotation, needs to have a valid from date and a valid to date. So enter a valid from date, which is today, and valid to how soon do you want the customer to purchase this quantity of 100? Maybe within 1 month. Okay, so 15 to the 15th. Enter. Alright. We'll enter the same material and the target quantity that we wish the customer should purchase is 100. And because the customer is purchasing some 100, the big quantity, let's say, and he will get the appropriate discount. Okay? So this is the total price. We want to work with discounts. There are different screens for that. Let's not go there. So the contract is ready. Save the contract. Okay, something is missing. Let's go fill it up. Some PO number is missing. Let's go fill some PO number. You can put any dummy text here. Some PO, anything. Doesn't matter. Save. What's the contract number? Look at the left bottom corner. 400215. going to double click it and save the contract. Control. Go back. What we have essentially created is a contract for a quantity of 100 for a particular customer for a particular material. Now, contract is there, contract is set in place. Now, can you deliver with respect to a contract? Very important point. The answer to that is no. You cannot deliver with respect to a contract. Then how does the customer get the goods? The customer gets the goods with reference to an order that's created with reference to a contract. That type of order is called release order. Okay? Here is the deal. So there is a contract, right? So you cannot create deliveries with reference to a contract. So with reference to a contract, orders have to be created. So this is the total 100. You release value from that 100, let's say 20. And this release is called a release order. So every contract, especially quantity contracts or value contracts, need release orders in order for the actual delivery to happen. So here is release order 1, and this release order can be delivered, and this release order can be built. Release order 2, maybe 2 days from today. Delivered, built. Release order 3, maybe 10 days from now the customer requires 50 more. Sure. Deliver, build. Release order 4, the remaining 20. Deliver it, and build it. That will complete the contract. 20 plus 10 plus 50 plus 20 is 100. That's the total quantity here. Right? So key takeaway is contract cannot be delivered directly, number 1. Number 2, a contract requires a release order in order for the actual delivery to happen. That release order could be of standard OR or any other order type. Okay? So let's create that release order in the system. How do we do that? We go to VA01 as usual, put in OR, standard order type, and here is how we create the release order. If we do a standard order OR and then click enter, go into it, put some material, it becomes a standard order, nothing like release order. But if you want this to be a type release order, you are releasing something. What are you releasing? You are releasing quantity from that contract. So you create this order with reference to the contract. So go to the contract tab, just like how we have been doing inquiry quotation order. Just that now we are creating with reference to the contract. So copy and paste your contract number there, and or you can do search if you want. And then click copy. Alright. So what's the total quantity? 100. Now, do we want to release everything in 100? No. We want to just release 20 for now. Alright. Make it 20. Customer is only asking for 20. Give some PO number. Click save. Okay, some order 13548 has been saved. That's fine. So the first order is done. Now, you can go to that order in change mode, deliver that order if you want. And then do everything that's related to that order, like deliver it, pick it, pack it, PGI, and then do the invoicing for the delivery, so on and so forth. Anything that is required. Okay, so on and so forth. I'm not going to do all of that stuff at this point because it's going to take the focus away from contracts. Okay. The next thing is maybe 10 days from now, another release order was required. Say, the customer calls up and says, hey, I have a contract with you. I wanted 20 yesterday or 10 days before. I need 10 more from you with reference to that contract. Sure, sir. We go to VA01 again. Same OR, create with reference, go to contract. Now here, look at the trick. When I click copy, look at the order quantity that's coming up. It's 80, which is natural, right? The original quantity was 100. 10 was already issued as part of a different order or a different release order. What's left is 80, right? And if you want to change this, sure, make it 10. And then as usual, put some PO number here, save it, right? So you can go on and on and on until you exhaust all the quantity and you can no longer create release orders with reference to this quantity contract. Any questions on quantity contract? Anybody has questions?
No, I'm clear.
All right. Anybody else has questions? Mustafa, Zafar. All right. Moving on to service contract. Let's actually not go to service contract at this point, but rather go to value contract. This is the next important contract type. What is a value contract? A value contract is limited not by quantity like in a quantity contract, but by value. This is a little more complicated than a quantity contract. Let me explain the differences here. Now, in a quantity contract, the contract will be signed for a fixed quantity, 100, and then there will be multiple release orders, out for 10, for 20, for 30, and let's say for 40. Total all put together will be 100, and this will exhaust the contract. What if the customer wants not by quantity but by value? Example is, let's say there is a university. Okay? A university that requires some equipment, let's say computers, simple. Right? A university requires some computers. The university will have some funding. And let's say there is a funding of 2 million for the computer department. And there are two major vendors, vendor 1, vendor 2. Right? They are in charge of delivering goods to that customer, to the university. They'll procure them. They'll procure goods from the university. Let's say this year they only want to go with vendor 1, just for simplicity. Let's not even bother about vendor 2. Now the total funding that they've got is 2 million, out of which they can spend $1 million for computers. Okay? So they don't know at that point how they're going to spend that $1 million. They might buy so many computers, or they might buy half that many computers, but may go in for routers, or wireless equipment, or switches, or cables, or tables, God knows, right? But their budget is 1 million for computer equipment. So what they're going to do is enter into an agreement called a value contract with this vendor because they have decided which vendor they want to go with and how much they want to spend, but they don't know what to spend on. Meaning, is it going to be $1 million worth of computers, or is it going to be like $500,000 worth of computers and then $250,000 worth of server grade equipment and then $250,000 worth of some networking equipment? They don't know. So they're going to enter into a value contract for either a fixed material or a bouquet of materials. It could be for a fixed material, meaning one material, let's say only computers, or it could be for a bouquet of materials or a assortment of materials. That assortment could include all the equipment that I was talking about. PCs, printers, scanners, networking equipment, routers, switches, servers, or anything that the university requires. A bunch of 10 or 15 materials. This essentially gives both the vendor as well as the university more flexibility in how the university wants to spend this money and how the vendor should respond with the orders that have been placed. Especially provides more flexibility to customers. Because they know how much they're going to spend, but don't know what they're going to spend on. And if they commit to this 1 million to this vendor, the vendor is going to give them better prices because the vendor knows that this customer is going to spend $1 million over a period of 1 year. So obviously, they'll give the customer better discounts and it's a predictable income for the vendor. So, they can provide better service, so on and so forth. That is called a value contract. Okay? Now there are different types of value contracts. A value contract for a specific material or a value contract for an assortment of materials. Okay? The value contract for a specific material is WK2. WK2. So all you got to do is go here, go to VA41, use WK2, hit enter, and as usual, use your favorite customer and use your favorite material and specify a target. See, you're specifying a target value in dollars or euros, whatever, which means, let's say, the customer is going to purchase $100,000 worth of M01 material. Right? Now, look, this is different from the way you specify the material quantities generally. Right? Here we are specifying a target value. Okay? Now let's say this guy. Okay? And look at the left bottom corner, 400216. Copy. Copy. Go back. Now you can go to an order and start releasing value from that order. Go to contract, copy paste your number, click on copy. Okay? Is it the same guy? Just let me quickly check if it's the same or not. Okay, this guy looks to be the same. Okay, now if you go back to that value contract, you will see that a value of $1,111 has been released out of the total target of 100,000 because we have just created a release order with reference to this contract for a quantity of 1 which summed up to $1,111. right? If you can keep on releasing more, and the value released will keep on increasing. It sounds logical, right? So this is a value contract for a specific material, which was done using contract type WK2. The next one is a little more involved. It's called value contract with an assortment module, which is an assortment of materials. The customer is saying, hey, I'm going to buy $100,000 or $1 million worth of goods from you, but I cannot specify whether it's M01 or M02. I'll say, I'll pick a range. Okay, M01, M02, P109, P111, or I'll specify 10 materials. Out of them, I could buy $100,000 worth of M01 or $50,000 worth of M01 and $50,000 worth of M02. Right? It's like assortment is like a box of chocolates. I could take whatever chocolate I want. It's up to me. I could take all the Cadbury Sheppies or I could take all the Mars. It's up to me. Right? So in order to do this, first you've got to create an assortment module. So how do you create an assortment module? Sorry. Let me show you how to create an assortment module. Here. So you go to Sales and Distribution, Master Data, Products, Value Contract. Okay? So go to Sales and Distribution, Master Data, Products, Value Contract, Assortment Module. Go to Create and hit Enter and specify your material. M01, M02, M03. Okay? And some description. Computers, or you could give some description, computer products, something. The key thing that you have to remember here is you're only specifying the materials. You're not specifying the quantities. You're not saying how much quantity. You're just saying I need these materials. That's it. Okay? And you can click save, and here is your assortment number. Save. Okay? Now you can go to VA41 and use WK1. Hit enter. Enter your sold to party. Enter your target value, $10,000, and choose your assortment module. Now, if you know the number, you can put it there. If you don't know the number, you can search it by description or module type. So, star computers. I think we specified something like assortment of computers, right? So I'm searching by description. Search, enter, enter. Okay. The total is 100,000 of these materials. The materials inside this assortment module. Okay, it's valid until a particular date and save. What is the contract? 400000217. Copy. Okay. Now you can go and create a release order with reference to that contract. Go and double click it, create with reference, go to contract and paste your contract or search for your contract. Now here is the tricky part. Don't click copy, but instead click item selection. Okay? Click on item selection. Okay? And this is your assortment module, right? So select it and then click on expand assortment. And these are the different materials in that assortment. So what quantities do we want? I want 1 of M01, 2 of M02, 3 of M03. That's fine. Enter. Okay. Go back and click on copy. Now, this is the availability screen. If the material is available or not, click copy, copy, and you'll see that all the materials that you have selected in that pop-up have been selected here. And then you can just click save. Now, a release order for a certain quantity of materials has been created. Now, let's go and revisit that contract. By going here, hitting enter, you see some value was released. And what is this value? This value is the amount for 1 M01, 2 M02s, and 3 M03s, which are part of that assortment. This is called value contract with an assortment module. So just to summarize, we have seen mainly two types of contracts up until now. Quantity contract, value contract. We have discussed the differences between the two. In value contract, there were two types of value contracts. One is value contract for a specific material. The next is value contract for an assortment of material. And in order to do that assortment of material, first you have to create an assortment. In that assortment, you can put a whole bunch of material the customer can purchase. And using that assortment, you can create a value contract and release value from that value contract. Any questions on value contracts? The two different types of value contracts.
Shivagaru, can you show us what happens if you are trying to select items that exceed the value of your contract?
That exceed the value of the contract.
Yeah.
Okay.
It probably just won't allow you to save the.
That's it.
Right. Yeah. What is the effect if you click on copy instead of item selection?
What is the effect of copy instead of? When you click on copy, you are not really specifying anything. So if you go there, click on copy, go to contract, copy, copy. And copy is actually essentially taking you here, so no effect.
So then we can just proceed as normal. Select the assortment, expand, and.
Yes. Any other questions?
So did you say clicking on copy is just the same as item selection?
Yes. Item selection, the reason why I was specifically talking about item selection is this is not just specific to an assortment module. You can do it in any type of contract. For example, if a single contract has M01 and M02 and you are creating a release order with reference to this, if you click the copy button, right, all the materials will be copied over to the order.
Right.
But if you go to item selection,
it will allow you to choose.
I wanted to see it. All right. Any other questions?
It's clear to me.
All right. So the next type of contract that I want you to know is called a service contract. Okay. And service master contract, never mind. Service contract is for service, like I was telling you, right? So it's for providing service. Generally, services are provided on a periodic basis, meaning they work for an extended period. Like, okay, Dell will provide service for 1 year for at a particular rate, a fixed rate or a per computer rate or whatever rate that the customer agrees with. So there is a way, the way in which the service contract is billed is going to be periodic. They're going to be billing per month continuously, like the way your Comcast contract is or your iPhone contract is with Singular or Verizon. Right? If you go and dig into a service contract with Verizon or Singular, it's going to be something like this. So you will be paying some $30, right, per month, and they will be providing service for that month for a fixed service. It's like 2 GB of data and then so many minutes of calling and so on and so forth. And that will be decided in the contract, what is provided and what is the price. And if you go beyond that, there is overage, so on and so forth. This way of billing is achieved in SAP using what is called as billing plan. Okay, billing plan. So let me create an order in the system and show you how a billing plan looks like. Okay, with a service contract. So let's go here to BA41, service contract SC. Okay, 101400. This is a different CFR. Okay, never mind, that's not the point. And then we'll choose a different customer because 101400, you have to choose a different customer. And quantity of some material, repair service. Okay, now if you select this, there is a button here called billing plan. Okay, select that. If you don't find that button, that's absolutely fine. You can just double click that line item and you'll have billing plan as one of the tabs. So here is the total that the customer is going to pay, and the contract is for 1 year, so 2012 November until 2013 November. Okay, and this is the prorated billing charge for 15 days or whatever, from 11:15 to 11:30, and this is the actual billing for the entire month of December, January, February, the full month. Okay, SAP will automatically calculate it for us based on a configuration available in item category that we're going to see at a later point. Okay, this is called a billing plan. So, come the 30th of November, automatically the customer is billed for 80. Come the 31st of December, automatically the customer is going to be billed for 150. So on and so forth. This looks pretty much like your iPhone billing plan, right? Except the rates are different and the dates are different. This is called a service and maintenance contract, whereby a fixed price. The fixed price could be defined per month or price could be defined in total. So a contract could be something like this. You pay me $1,000 per annum and I will provide you fixed services per month. Or you pay me $80 per month, I will provide you services for 12 months at a rate of $80 per month. That is decided at the condition type level, which is pricing. Let's not go there. A billing plan is decided at the item category level. Again, that's configuration. Let's not go there. But understand what is the concept behind the billing plan at this point. So billing plan is generally, there are two types of billing plans, periodic and milestone, but we are only going to talk about periodic because services generally follow periodic billing plan. Periodic billing plan is a recurring billing plan that recurs every week or every month depending on the setting there. and there will be a fixed price that will recur per month. This is called a service and maintenance contract. This is the third major type of contract that we are looking at. Okay? I think that should be good enough for contracts. We don't need to go into any other type of contract at this point. Mainly three types of contracts: quantity contract, value contract, service and maintenance contract. In value contract, there were two different types of value contracts. Value contracts for a fixed material, WK2, and value contract for an assortment module, WK1. And in order to do WK1, you should know how to create an assortment. Create an assortment with a fixed set of materials and use that to create release orders against that value contract. And the third is service contract, service and maintenance contract, where you use service materials which are generally associated with a different item category. This item category is generally associated with billing plans, and billing plan will be for a fixed period of time, which recurs every month, every day, or every week, depending on how that billing plan is configured. And that particular amount will be recurring in their billing based on the billing date. In this case, it's the last of the month: 28th February, 31st March, 30th April, 31st May, so on and so forth. Alright? So any questions on service and maintenance contract?
So could you quickly recap how the assortment of computers that M1 and M2 M3 were created? Just which
data, products, value contract, revenue suites.
Got it.
Hit enter, give some description, and start with your materials here and save.
All right. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Okay, there are no questions. We'll stop here, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Same regular time, 9 p.m.
Hi, Shiva.
Yeah.
This is Sonal here.
Hi, Sonal.
I'm sorry, I was out of day today. I didn't check the email that you have a class early today. So I joined the class very late.